In John chapter 13, verse 9, "Then, Lord," Simon Peter replied, "not just my feet, but my hands and my head as well." Peter says, "You're not going to wash my feet. Unless I do, Peter, you got no part with me." Okay, well, if that's the case, then don't just stop with my feet. Just work your way right up until you wash the top of my head. And Jesus says a person who has had a bath, circle that, we're going to come back to it. A person who has had a bath needs only to wash his feet. Circle the word wash. We're going to come back to that. A person who has had a bath needs only to wash his feet. His whole body's clean. And you are clean, though not every one of you. For he knew who was going to betray him. And that is why he said, not everyone is clean. Now, the word for bath and the word for wash are two different words. The word for bath in the Greek language is the word luo. If you've ever been to Europe and they talk about going to the loo, it comes from the Latin and the Greek luo, which means a bath, to be washed from head to toe. It means to clean yourself totally. The word wash is the word nipto in the Greek language, which means to wash an article, like you might wash your shirt or wash your hands, or in this case, wash your feet. And some have speculated here that what Jesus is referring to is baptism. When you are bathed, when you're washed in the blood of the Lamb, you're clean. But sometimes we get out and start walking in the world and we get soiled. Our feet, our hands, maybe even our thoughts get soiled. And although we're clean because we've been bathed in the blood of Jesus, our hands get dirty. Our feet get dirty. Our minds get dirty. And we need to come to Jesus and let him wash us clean. We need to not take a bath, but be repentant and be washed. I know that's true with me. And so Jesus said, you're clean. You just need to wash up a little bit. Except there's one here who has not even been bathed. He's talking to Judas. And then Jesus in verse 12 says this. When Jesus had finished washing their feet, he put on his clothes, returned to his place, and he asked, do you understand what I've done for you? This is a great question. Do you really understand what I've just done? Well, you wash feet. No. Do you really understand what I've just done? And Jesus said in John 13, verse 13, you call me teacher and Lord, and rightly so, for that's what I am. Now that I, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you should stop there and look up. Jesus said, you call me rabbi, teacher, and Lord, Kyrios, boss, and that's right, because that's what I am. And now that I, your Lord and your boss, have washed your feet, you should finish these lines with me, would you? I scratch your back, you scratch mine. You know, one good turn deserves another. I wash your feet, you should wash mine. That's what the human condition teaches us. You do something for me, I do something for you. I do something for you, you do something for me. That's reciprocity. That's what we should be doing with each other. But that's not what Jesus says. In verse 14, Jesus said, now that I, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you also should wash one another's feet. Jesus said the way we demonstrate our love for him is by serving others. Now, please understand that. This is all under the statement that John makes. Now he was going to show them the full extent of his love. And what is that full extent of his love? By serving us. And then he tells us, listen, now that I've shown you the full extent of my love, God washing feet, you show me the full extent of your love by washing others' feet. Mother Teresa, one time, the great saint of Calcutta, India, who ministered to the poorest and the most downtrodden, who cared for the lepers and the ill. She would go out into the streets and bring people in who had suffered with leprosy, who because of the leprosy would develop infections and then gangrenous circumstances. Parts of their face, of their hands, their feet would literally slough off, and the smell of the rotting flesh would be amazingly horrible. And she would go minister to these people. And someone asked her one time, how can you do this? How can you minister to these people in their filth and their mire? How can you do it? And this is what she said. Each one of them is Jesus in disguise. And then she added, many people mistake our work for our vocation. No. Our vocation is the love of Jesus. She didn't do it because she felt good. She didn't do it because it made her feel good. She didn't do it as an act of obligation. She didn't do it hoping that somebody would see her and say, wow, that Mother Teresa, what a person. She did it for the least of these, washing feet, as an expression of her love for Jesus. Jesus showed us the full extent of his love by serving us. And he says the way that you show the full extent of your love for me is by serving others. That's God's desire. That's God's plan for us. Some people don't serve because they've got every excuse. Too busy, I don't have time, involved in too many things. It's what I call selfish non-service. And some people serve, but they don't serve for the right reasons. They serve for what they get out of it, or they serve because it makes them feel good to do so, or they serve because they hope somebody will give them an honor and acclaim them for what they're doing. This is what I call selfish service. But Jesus offers a third way. Service not for what we get, but for what we give. Service because we are showing him the full extent of our love. This is selfless service. This is the service of Jesus. In John chapter 13, verses 15 and 16, Jesus said, I've set you an example that you should do as I have done for you. I tell you the truth. No servant is greater than his master, nor a messenger greater than the one who sent him. Jesus said, this is the example. To show you how I serve you, I want you to show the full extent of your love by serving others. This, my friends, is the example that changes everything. Selfless service, to humbly serve others as we are serving the Lord, to show the full extent of our love as he showed us the full extent of his love, the service of Jesus. He knew he was God, and yet in humility, he took the towel and the vessels and washed feet. And he did so to show us the full extent of his love. And he says, now, I've set you an example. If you want to show me the full extent of your love, then don't wash my feet. Wash one another's feet. And if you look around here at Chandler Christian Church, just keep your eyes open and look. You'll see this happening all around you. Watch the screen.